Are you tired of spending countless hours scouring the internet for the perfect books to fuel your kids' love for reading? Say goodbye to the never ending search and hello to saving time and effort in discovering the perfect books for your little learners using ChatGPT. ChatGPT will reshape how you curate your homeschool reading list by giving you personalized book recommendations tailored just for your kids. In case you don't know, ChatGPT is an AI tool that you can talk to with regular language. It's like having a conversation with a super knowledgeable friend that doesn't mind answering a million questions. And it'll respond to your million questions with endless patience and zero snark. I wish I could say the same, but unfortunately, snark is my second language. So let's jump into the nitty gritty of how to use ChatGPT to create the perfect homeschool reading list for your child. The first step is to define what you're looking for in a reading list. Are you looking for teacher recommended books? Do you need books that align with academic objectives, or are you just looking for fun ideas? Maybe you're looking for books to add a literature element to a subject like history or science. For me, I need a reading list that will help my rising fourth grader meet academic objectives related to reading. That means we need to explore different genres and read a variety of books. If you want more information on how to define academic objectives with ChatGPT, I have a video on that, which I'll link below. But for now, let's focus on getting more specific about the types of books we need for a solid reading list. I can refer to a book like Home Learning Year by Year to help me figure out what types of books my students should read. I can also ask ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, I chose to use GPT-4, which is available as a pro user. And GPT-4 is appropriate if you need a little more creativity or higher level of reasoning. And so that's what I chose to use this time around. I start off with the following prompt. You are an expert in elementary education and a creator of educational curricula for elementary students. Create a table of the types of books that a fourth grader should read to meet typical language arts academic standards. The columns should include genre, subgenre, and examples. So this is the first response I got from ChatGPT. It put the genres, the types of books, into this code box, which I really hate. I don't know why it does that, but it does do that sometimes. I regenerated using this regenerate button and got the following, and it did use a regular table rather than the code box like it did before. And the genres and subgenres are a little bit different. I actually prefer these to the previous ones. So we have here fiction, nonfiction, poetry and drama, graphic novels, folklore, and mythology, along with subgenres for each. And based on my past research, my past studying of like what types of books students should read, this looks pretty good to me. Kids should be reading a variety of genres, not just all fiction, not just all nonfiction, but a variety of things. And so this list looks pretty good to me. So this is an important first step in creating a book list to load up the chat with this type of information. You get better results if you do that. Once you have an idea of what you want, it's time to request a reading list that fits your requirements. To make things easier, I'm going to ask for teacher recommended books. This way, I'll have access to plenty of learning activities on Teachers Pay Teachers. That'll save me time if I don't get around to creating my own book studies. I'm also going to lean into my son's interests with this list, so I'm going to ask for books about animals and animation. I'm currently in the same chat in which I asked for the list of the types of books I should be looking for my student. So you see here the list of genres that I received before. And so I continue the chat. That's important that I continue that specific chat and then ask the following. Using that list of the types of books that are suitable for a fourth grader to meet typical language arts academic standards, generate a table containing a list of teacher recommended books, 2 books per category. The book should be suitable for meeting typical fourth grade language arts academic standards. The table should have the following columns: category, title, author, reading age, Lexile level, and grade level. All right, so this is the first response I got. Notice here the categories, which are the genres from this table up here. So we have here fiction, traditional and realistic, and historical and science fiction, and fantasy and mystery, and all that. So this is a longer table, of course, because this first column contains everything that's in this second column here, the genre and subgenre. And I did ask for 2 books per category. So, this is a nice list of books. I will caution you that, as with any conversation with ChatGPT, sometimes it hallucinates. And I have in the past received a recommendation for a book that didn't actually exist. And that is just something that happens with AI right now. Therefore, always double check if there's a book that, based on the title, you're really interested in, go and see if it actually exists. Also, you may be wondering why I have these columns here: reading age, lexile level, and grade level. Well, there's two reasons for these columns. One is just partly for informational purposes. Maybe you have an advanced reader. For example, my fourth grader, he's a really good little reader. He actually dropped the word usurper on me the other day. And I'm like, dude, why are you like this? And how are you like this? How do you know that word? So if you have an advanced reader, you might want to know that a book is appropriate for a kid who's 6 to 9 years old, or 7 to 10 years old, because that might not be challenging enough for your reader. So for me, I would look more for the books that are maybe 8 to 12 years old, 10 to 14, just to be able to challenge him, or at least have it at his reading level. The other reason I have these columns is because when I just ask for books without asking for reading age or grade level, I sometimes receive books that were not for children, even though I asked specifically for books suitable for a fourth grader right here. When I looked into some of the books, especially the nonfiction books, they were more for college age or just plain adult level reading. And so I try to figure out how to avoid that. And I found that once I asked for this column, that problem went away. So I definitely recommend asking for reading age to make sure that you're getting books that will actually be helpful to you, a reading list that will actually be helpful to you. Okay, so we have here a nice little list of books. Notice I did not ask for any particular educational philosophy. I did not ask to consider any particular interest my child has, because I just wanted a basic list. But then after that, I asked ChatGPT to update the table with books that are suitable for a 10-year-old that is interested in animals. So this time I asked for a specific age rather than a grade, and one interest. Now, my student is interested in animals and animation, but I found that it's better to focus on one interest at a time. So this is the list for an animal lover. Very interesting, some of the same books. But if I go down, especially like the nonfiction, I see some new titles that weren't in the previous list. Okay. And then after that, I asked to update the table with books that are suitable for a 10-year-old that's interested in animation. And now I have a new list. Some of these books, I am a little mystified by the connection they have with animation. So if I were actually going to choose some books, I would probably regenerate at this point with the regenerate button in order to get more titles that I could look into. So that's how I would go about things. Choose one interest at a time, get a list of those books, and then continue on. And then, if you're interested in getting books that align with a specific educational philosophy, for example, Charlotte Mason, you can ask for that. Update the table with books that are Charlotte Mason approved. And so they give a little bit of a description of what they're looking at when looking for Charlotte Mason books, specifically rich literature and living books. And so here we have a very different looking list of books. So take that stepwise approach. It's a good idea to review the list of books ChatGPT provides to make sure they fit your students' needs and reading level. Occasionally, there might be a book that doesn't quite fit, but don't worry, just let ChatGPT know and it'll update the list accordingly. For example, you could say something like, "This particular book doesn't quite fit my students' reading level. Can you recommend something similar but at a different level?" And ChatGPT will respond with an updated list. So always review your list and communicate any changes you need to ensure you have the perfect reading list for your student. While ChatGPT is great for helping you generate a list, you're going to want to put the list in a spreadsheet or word processor. I recommend using a spreadsheet because you can then easily sort the list any way you want. I've tried doing sorting in ChatGPT, but the results are never good. So, if sorting is important to you, as it is to me, go with the spreadsheet option. Being able to create personalized reading lists this quickly and easily is pretty powerful. But being able to just as quickly and easily create a book study out of one of those books, now that's a dream come true to me. Watch my next ChatGPT video to see how I do that. And trust me, your homeschooler will thank you. Thanks for watching.